Sportscast SA presents Game On. Game On. South Australians' destination for everything sports. Local, national, and international sports. AFL football, soccer, basketball, golf, baseball, tennis, cricket, and any other sports played in this wide world. And we're going to have a blast doing it. So sit back, relax, and let's do this thing. Welcome to Game On.
Welcome to Game On. My name's Pete, once again joined by Malcolm, and today, special episode, our top 10 sporting moments. We're going to kick off with number 10, mate, the Melbourne Cup winner without a fight.
The corner into the straight in the Lexus Melbourne Cup, and here's Vauban on the outside of Future History and Vow and Declare between them. Absurd is also chiming in. 400 metres to go. It's Absurd moving up on the outside for Zach Burden. A length in front, but without a fight. It's running on right down the centre of the track. Without a fight up to Absurd, Vow and Declare, and Shiraz the bolter. It's without a fight. 100 metres to go. 2 or 3 lengths in front, coming away from Shiraz, and also Sulcombe without a fight. Mark Zara, a Melbourne Cup champion, wins it by 2 lengths.
Yeah, sort of rags to riches story and all that. And as always, the Melbourne Cup has got a story in itself. And, yeah, continued to deliver. And, of course, racing-wise also we've had the Damon Oliver famous finish this week. So, yeah, there's been a couple of things there with racing in that regard.
Absolutely. And the Melbourne Cup is one of the premier sporting events that Australia as a whole gets behind, and everybody, no matter what happens on the day, you always have a small flutter, and obviously, like you said, a bit of a rags to riches story there without a fight. So congratulations there. All right, mate, we move on. Number 9, the Live Golf merger. After months of instability, a merger looks like it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
You hope so, because some of the crazy money being thrown around, I'd rather get a bit more structure and a bit more honesty than that, because some of the things have been ridiculous lately. So.
The PGA Tour, European Tour and rival Live Golf Circuit have announced a landmark agreement to merge and form a commercial entity to unify the sport. The Live Golf Series launched last year and has lured a number of big-name players from the PGA Tour, including Australian Cameron Smith. The circuit is bankrolled by the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. Critics have accused it of being a vehicle for the country to attempt to improve its reputation in the face of criticism of its human rights record. Jimmy Emanuel is the deputy editor of Golf Australia magazine. He says the merger is a big shock. So lots of question marks there. How will this merger work?
We don't know. We won't know for a while. I think it's been rushed through quite quickly, to be honest, to try and get it in the ground and then move forward, because leaks have been coming out with all this sort of stuff constantly every time something happens. It won't actually take shape till next year. Live Golf will play out their series this year. The PGA Tour will continue with their schedule. Next year is when we will see some sort of merger. So how it looks at this stage is anyone's guess, to be honest.
We've had Craig Martin on talking golf, and that was the one thing that he was pointing out, is that, you know, there is still some politics there in golf that does need to be sorted out, but you're right, crazy money being thrown around, and players are jumping ship left, right and centre, and then they can't play in other events and can't play in PGA events and can't, you know, it's just a little bit of a mess at the moment, and I hope that they can sort that one out sooner rather than later. All right, we move on. Number 8, Australian rugby lowest point. Australia knocked out of the World Cup and sink to a new low with Eddie Jones quitting as coach.
Australia's Rugby World Cup campaign is over after a humiliating loss to Wales. The final score, 40-6. The win for Wales cements their spot in the quarterfinals and almost certainly sees Australia bow out of the World Cup in the pool stages, which is the first time that's happened in history. The Wallabies didn't register a point in the second half of the game, leading to calls for coach Eddie Jones to step down. After this shocking loss, Jones did offer this apology.
Oh, well, yeah, we're all gutted, mate. Apologise to all the supporters here, everyone back at home. We started the game reasonably well. Obviously gave them an easy try, but then the next 30 minutes we were into everything. But then we just kept letting the pressure off, whether it be a set-piece error, a ball carrier, a kicker, and, you know, Wales were good enough to convert any pressure they had into points.
Before the match, it was reported Jones had been in talks with Japan to become the coach of their rugby team, something he denies.
Really dark time for Australian rugby, and I'm sorry, Eddie Jones as well, in terms of kept saying, oh, no, there's been no interest from Japan. It was Mickey Mouse. Everyone knew there had been, and, yeah, so it was cloak and dagger stuff, and it was bizarre, almost immature, really, treating us all as fools.
It was the worst kept secret, really, at the end of the day, wasn't it?
It's ridiculous. So, yeah, and at the moment they lose an internal trial game. So, yeah, it is a worry.
Where do we see Australian rugby going from here?
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm not sure where it's at.
Does it need a full review?
Yeah, well,
like the 36ers? Does it need a full review?
Possibly, but I'm really not sure of the numbers playing and all that side and the junior side. Is it as well supported in the schools as it used to be? So there's probably a lot of question marks there, which I admit I'm not a huge rugby person. So,
I mean, the Wallabies were...
Yeah, they were the
top,
pants.
Top two sporting, you know, it was the cricket, the Australian cricket team and the rugby, and they were the two that we looked to the most when it came to sporting achievements. Now,
well, we'd all follow the Wallabies, you know.
Correct.
And that. Used to go and watch what was the Earl of Aberdeen, Cooper's Ale House, and it was packed. That was sort of the rugby leading pub around, and you know, and the atmosphere was huge. Even as a non-drinker, I'd go and watch it. It was fantastic, and yeah, it's the doldrums, and I'm not really sure where it's going.
Absolutely. All right, and we move on to number 7 in our top 10 sporting moments, and the Australian Diamonds World Cup glory. The only trophy missing from the trophy cabinet and was done amongst a player dispute. Huge achievement.
Get into the dying stages of this final. But
Courtney Bruce comes out flying. The second that ball is in the air, Sophie Garvin comes up with the goods in the Diamonds. When the time has come that they needed to score, they have. When they've put on that ruthless, relentless defensive pressure, they've all executed really well. For these final 3 minutes, they are not going to want to let off one.
They've put that pressure on England, and when they've got those opportunities, and this is the one that they were really wanted. The Commonwealth Games as well as Kira Austin. Phenomenal last-minute shot from her. She has been awesome. Oh, absolutely brilliant stuff. The Diamonds have done it. They are the world champions. This was the only one missing, and what a fantastic performance it has been.
All right, we move on to number 6, the NRL Penrith Panthers Premiership, their three-peat. But really, the best part about it was that they came from 24-8 down at around about the 64-minute mark. And Nathan Cleary, for the next 20 minutes, just absolutely turned it on.
Flat pass there for Cogger. Cleary working off him again. Beats Capewell. Wants support. Leona is there. The Panthers have life.
Coming into five.
Great work by Cogger and Cleary. Cleary from inside the 40, trying to hook it back towards the sideline. He's got the 40-20. Nathan Cleary standing tall. Here he is, slipping over as he runs towards Puyakura. They don't need that. 4 tackles gone. Cogger jumps out of dummy half, comes back to Cleary. Garner, Crichton, nothing doing there. He finds Cleary. They don't need him being tackled in this situation. He goes to Edwards. Almost some space. They're HIAs. But he watches on for the moment. Cleary for To'o.
Reynolds is rushing hard on Cleary every time he comes out towards his left.
Looks in, comes out to Cleary, out the back for Crichton, up against Staggs. Stephen Crichton! He scores! What a comeback by the Panthers! 3 in from touch. Cleary, the Iceman, adds 2 more points. It's a try the difference. Last play, Cleary with the kicking duties, a floater, an awful one to handle here. Oh my goodness, how did Arthurs catch that? Now Cogger finds Cleary, taking on Reynolds, halfback on halfback. Sorensen prowling the sideline. He can't sit down. He's cleared to play. Now Cogger back to Cleary. Crichton again. He'll kick. They want a repeat set. Walsh lets it bounce. He is stopped. For a try and a penalty. He does go long this time. Out towards the sideline. A big play by Cleary, who thought he got his foot down before he made contact with the ball. For Kenny. Cleary is left. Quick play, the pass there as Staggs came screaming out. With his son Billy in the team. Cleary for Garner. Comes back to Cogger. Here's Cleary. Tip on. Sorensen. Crichton again. Beats Reynolds. Kicks. Snatched. Snatched out of the air by Cobbo. It's back to his feet as To'o plays it. And Garner spins away from Haas. Spencer Leniu with the carries that he can produce. Yo for Cleary. At the back. Edwards. Garner. Room for the Panthers. Garner takes it down within 10. Feeds it for Cogger. He wants Cleary. He'll chip it. Not a great one again. A touch by the Broncos. Comes back. Cleary. Cogger. Still the last. Crichton. What does he do? He grubbers. Staggs won't bring it back. They trap him. It meters out. Short side. Cleary takes on Reynolds. Cleary! Cleary scores! The Iceman cometh! Nathan Cleary scores the try that locks up the grand final.
Well, just when you thought Brisbane were going to snatch it, Ezra Mann went one on that tremendous run. 3 tries. It has been Nathan Cleary, who may have just ripped the hearts out of the Brisbane supporters. He has orchestrated this comeback, and with nothing on the short side, cuts Reynolds, cuts Walters, cuts Ricky, cuts Walsh, drags it around under the posts. And the genius of Cleary.
Cleary's kick, the back end of the set, goes down to Warpers. Surrounding Mitch Kenny, they want the siren to sound. They've stepped into the history books.
It's one of probably the greatest 20 minutes of any individual sportsman's ever done, to throw his team on his back and get him up from 24-8 down to win the 3 in a row. And at that stage, it had been a ho-hum. And, so just an incredible comeback and a remarkable individual performance.
As we've played as part of our audio snippet here, is that almost every touch that allowed them to sort of get back into the game, Nathan Cleary was the man who architected it. And we talk about reputations being made in big events and big finals. He nailed it to an absolute T.
It was the equivalent of Roger James's first quarter for Port in 2004. And as people around the traps know how I feel about that, as much as I'll bag Lord Voldemort forever for winning Port that flag,
I was going to say,
incredible in performances.
We did have Roger James as one of our special guests, and you're right. There are big moments in grand finals or big moments in finals, and players just find another way to step up. And like you said, Roger James definitely did it, and Nathan Cleary did it on this occasion.
I am catching up with Roger over the Christmas break, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Make sure you give him some curry about it. All right, mate, we're going to take a very, very quick break. When we come back, finishing off with our top 5.
You're listening to the Game On Podcast. We'll be right back after this short break.
And coming in at number 5, Collingwood's Premiership Classic Grand Final against the Brisbane Lions.
Hipwood flicking it wide. McKenna, Markov, Lions got it back to McCluggage. Centering ball from McCluggage. Danaher plays on and kicks a goal. What a game of football. Wow. 3 for Joe Danaher. And somehow the Lions are still in this game.
How many times have you changed your mind during the week,
during this game. What a grand final. There's his dad, Anthony. Is there any more twists in this?
Richo just keeping the ball alive. The handball there from Jared Lyons. Hugh McCluggage just kept the ball in. The umpire's in the right spot. But it's his kick here. Didn't try and be a hero. Put it to the top of the goal square where they had a couple lines. And Danaher rushes it in to kick the goal. Back to 4 points.
1 minute 33. A warning against Brisbane here as well. 4 point lead to Collingwood. Umpire throws it up. Cox in the middle. Confronted by Berry. Beautiful spinning pirouette. The kick off the side of the boot. Hoskin Elliott to Mark. Couldn't get there. Crisp. Mark off. Here go Brisbane. I think the advantage has played Brisbane's way. More with the punch. Dacos out wide and finds Hoskin Elliott.
Did Brisbane know that was a free kick, BT?
I don't think they did.
I mean, that wasn't a good advantage, that one.
Not 15, so they've got a roll here. Crisp.
That is ridiculous. They didn't even know it was their free kick.
Goes quick, and it's Harris Andrews to belt him back into the forward half. Rayner might have just got eased out of it. Meyer check to ground. The seconds tick down. We're going to get a ball up.
Poor advantage. This Lyons didn't know there was a free kick. Tripped the ankle. That's not advantage.
McInerney. And a high free at the most crucial of moments.
Wow. Doesn't every moment at this stage of the game, it absolutely matters.
Lions have to squeeze up. They've got a couple defenders down by himself. Squeeze up to pick up the spares.
Clock's ticking. Collingwood make a mistake and they're gone. Amazing scenes here. Collingwood by 4 points, 15 seconds. I think they can hang on unless they make a monumental error here. Brodie Meyer check down the line. The Magpies and their massive army are going to win a record equaling 16th flag. How sweet it is! Collingwood win the grand final.
Was a great game. It's also probably, I think we've got to give the biggest tick of a coach and a club as prepared for close finishes. And Collingwood nailed that more than we've ever seen any club ever do. And
well, their last 2 years, I mean, really has just been phenomenal at how they've either been behind at three-quarter time by a reasonably margin where you'd think, it's going to be a tough stretch from here, and then find a way to win. Or it's been dead set close right the way through, and then they've just found a way to win it at the last minute.
Totally agree with that, but I reckon where they practiced their last 3 minutes and scenarios, they seem to have nailed that as much as any side ever has. And, look, great game. Look, extension of it was the whole final series, especially in Melbourne. The crowds in Melbourne, you had the Melbourne-Carlton game where, he finally had been able to kick more on his right foot, etc., etc.
Yep.
Melbourne probably should have beaten Collingwood. Melbourne, you can say at the end of there, they were probably the side at the end, the what-if side.
Yes.
And it was a great grand final. Could have gone either way. And,
well, I mean, Brisbane didn't give up. I mean, with,
it was
2.5, 3 minutes to go.
After Cameron kicked the goal to put him in front. Then that brilliant bit out of the centre square, the handball from Dacos to De Goey. Yeah, it was a fantastic game, and as we said, I think that's probably almost one of the big highlight, the rugby and AFL grand finals
were classics.
Two of the all-time classic games.
Absolutely, and obviously over the Christmas break, might be time to get them out when you've got a spare 5 minutes to sit down and re-watch them and actually enjoy them for what they were. And like you said, absolutely fantastic grand finals.
I probably haven't watched Matty Panos's goal for a couple of days from 2 years ago. I better do that again.
I like it. All right, mate, we move on to number 4. Ange Postecoglou moves to the EPL, the first Australian coach to do so, and so far it's been a winner.
Ange Postecoglou will make history as the first Australian to manage in the English Premier League after accepting the job with Tottenham Hotspur. The former Socceroos boss taking on one of the most prestigious but high-pressure jobs in world football.
From South Melbourne to North London via Japan, then Scotland.
And Postecoglou delivers!
Ange Postecoglou will take the helm of Tottenham next month, one of the big 6 clubs in the English Premier League. The 57-year-old signing a 4-year contract with Spurs as head coach.
Celtic are the champions!
His appointment follows a trophy-laden tenure at Celtic, which saw back-to-back Scottish Premiership titles and a domestic treble this season, and earlier hinting at a change with Scottish broadcasters.
There's always more to achieve in everything. I think the day I wake up and say I've done everything I need to do, then I may as well just pack it all up.
Before saying in a statement, a new opportunity has been presented to me and it is one which I wanted to explore. He'll now take charge of a team that just 4 years ago appeared in a European Champions League final. Tottenham, 8th in the English Premier League and in need of a reset. The club's chairman praising Ange's positive mentality and fast attacking style. As Spurs fans welcome the news outside the stadium, including Crystal, who says she's been waiting by her radio for this announcement.
Absolutely fantastic. Oh my God, we're going to be at the top.
Ange Postecoglou now has a huge task on his hands. There'll be plenty of incomings and outgoings as he tries to construct a squad capable of marked improvement after what has been a turbulent season. And perhaps fittingly, Tottenham's first pre-season clash under the club's new Australian coach will be held in Perth.
If they hadn't got so many injuries, they may well be on top at the moment because they were at one stage, but horrific injury run, so they fell away, but seem to be just coming back now as we speak. So great achievement by Postecoglou. I'd love him at QPR.
Maybe that should have been your Christmas wish as part of our episode there.
QPR to avoid relegations in my Christmas wish list, mate. So, yeah, look, but he's been a sensational success.
He has. Obviously doing his time here in Australia at South East Melbourne, then doing some stints overseas and gets his opportunity with Celtic to Tottenham. Celtic basically won everything that he could win there. The natural progression is then him going to the EPL and, he's made every poster winner and the fans are singing about him. I mean, you really can't go any further than that. Especially an Australian in the EPL. All right, we come to number 3 now. This one was on both of our top 10 sporting moments, and that is the Ashes controversy with Bairstow being run out by Alex Carey and also the antics or the disturbances in the long room.
Another short ball. Oh, now this is going to be interesting. Johnny Bairstow's walked out of his crease here. This could well be
out. And I've never seen scenes like that, particularly in the long room. Never mind all the way around the ground. There is a huge sense of frustration, but I can't understand why. Yeah. It's complete naivety around what has happened with Johnny Bairstow's dismissal.
Probably the thing for me is I just don't understand why it's controversial. It was just out. It was well done by Alex Carey and extraordinarily done by Johnny Bairstow. That's all it should have been. And, as Tim May, what he posted, what's this about cricket etiquette and cricket? No, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a blatant out and dumb Carey awareness. And Bairstow had tried it on the first day and he missed the stumps by the length of the, Flemington straight. And then he sooked. And Broad's behaviour since, Broad who nicked at the first slip and didn't walk and all that. So, I just don't understand why Alex has been remotely criticised for it. He should be lauded for it.
Is it a case of a bit of the mob mentality that didn't seem quite right at the time, and not knowing the rules. Whereas Alex, IQ of 200 there, he knew that was a possibility. That obviously discussed it as a team, going, well, he's sort of sneaking out of his crease a little bit here. Maybe I will have a bit of a ping. You've mentioned that Bairstow tried the same thing a day earlier or 2 days earlier or whatever it was, and the mob mentality didn't get it right, and then the players are harassed in the long room, which really should have been the pinnacle, or is the pinnacle of any sport, in that the fans can get that close to players, and yet they completely turned it into an absolute, excuse my French, shit show.
Let's just say Kerry O'Keefe nailed it with his joke and that. As I said, I don't get why. Well done, Alex. You idiot, Bairstow.
I don't think we're going to see that happen again in the long room, and I don't think we're going to see that happen. But it does spice up the Ashes series coming up next year here in Australia, so looking forward to that. Okay, we move on to number 2, Cricketing World Cup glory. Australia defeating India in India, and really at the end of the day, Travis Head coming back to the Australian team late in the tournament to do some amazing things.
Australia won the toss and sent India into bat.
Oh, he's belted that.
It initially seemed like a really dumb idea, until Travis Head did this.
Could this be a moment? Could it? One of the great catches! Goodness gracious me!
It kick-started an afternoon of frenetic fielding and superb bowling.
Oh, he's gone here, inside edge. And this is a massive blow.
As the Aussies rolled their opponents for just 240.
Went for the big one, got the edge.
They will be happy with their afternoon's work.
Batting in front of more than 92,000 screaming fans while facing a fiercely swinging ball initially seemed bloody tough.
Edge taken! Got him. Smith goes!
Until Travis Head did this.
Lovely shot.
Grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, Head did an absolute job on them.
Travis Head lifts it up now. 10 rows back.
And he, alongside Marnus Labuschagne,
oh, superb shot this.
steadied the ship and took us to World Cup glory.
And he goes again.
With a 192-run partnership for the ages.
And Australia win the World Cup for the 6th time. They've upstaged the...
Yeah, and we debate whether it's 1 or 2. You tossed a coin there on that. Look, and incredible. I think we thought, Travis, why are they going to keep him in the squad? He can't play till late.
You mentioned you've seen him here in Adelaide, hadn't touched a bat.
Spoke to him at a Shield game and, hadn't at that stage touched a bat and thought, what the hell's going on? And gets over there, comes back against New Zealand, makes 100 and, contributes in the semi as well. So he was man of the match in the semi and then the final.
Steadying in the final.
Oh, and the smash. And ironically, in the final, took a blinder of a catch, which is not Travis's strength, to get rid of Rohit Sharma and then smashed him. 3 for 50-odd, game on the line.
Yep.
Takes control, wins the World Cup, batting with Labuschagne. It was, look, he could not literally have done any more.
That's what I was going to say, was that...
not sure if he's sobered up yet either,
no,
but anyway.
Fair call. That's what I was going to say. Australia sending India into bat. Few people were, is it the right decision to be made? We don't understand the due that comes about, obviously, in the subcontinent there that changes the game a little bit, but it was a masterstroke in the end by the Australians.
On their discipline and ability to bowl to the plan and bowling without a mid-off and just managing to land the ball virtually in the spot where they wanted to was just quite extraordinary. And in the end...
Well, I think also kudos has to go to the fielding as well. They fielded like a team possessed.
Absolutely brilliantly.
Yep.
Nailed it when it counted. And I think it is our greatest World Cup achievement to beat India in India.
Yep.
Okay, we had the one here where we won pretty easily in the end, but I think that is the ants' pants in the end.
Absolutely. Like we said, Travis Head was totally amazing. Obviously, South Australian, we keep a bit of an eye on him. What can you say? Beating India in India, it just doesn't get any better than that, and really was a bit unlucky not to be number one, but we move on to number one now, and really the Matildas took Australia by storm, and everybody was just captivated by their performances, not only as a playing group, but as a team as well.
Been before. No Australian team, male or
has ever reached a World Cup semi-final.
But Russo has her pocket picked, and here's Sam Kerr. She's going to need some support. Kerr running at right. Kerr with a shot. Oh, I say, that's incredible! In Australia, male or female, to top Sam Kerr right now. That is a fantastic individual goal from Australia's golden girl.
And the single fist up in the air for Sam Kerr. What a moment, what a start. Her first game back in the captain's armband, and look at this, 2v1, no troubles. That is a phenomenal finish in the biggest moments. Well done, Sam Kerr.
Well, I'm not on the voting panel, but that's the goal of the tournament. Greeted by the roar of the tournament.
Could not have been scripted any better for the Australians. 78,000 people loving what they see.
It did. It really encaptured everyone. And the penalty shootout went
20 deep.
And, it stopped Holdjaboli's. Like, that's sacrilegious. It's an incredible achievement by the Matildas there. It delayed Holdjaboli's. And it was the emotion of it. Oh, no. Yes. And it was just that a women's soccer team, which, let's be honest, 10, 15 years ago was lucky to get 1,000 people. It was mainly, it was the friends and partners and family that turn up to now manage to capture Australia.
They sold out every venue that they went to.
It's just gone berserk.
They then play some friendlies after the World Cup over in Perth and have to move stadiums because they can't accommodate the number of sales.
It's
absolutely amazing.
And Sam Kerr, is probably arguably our most well-known sporting person now. Her achievements for Chelsea as well, and just incredible.
Like you said, the penalty shootout went 20 deep. Making a semi-final, the first Australian soccer team to make a semi-final. Crowds were just going crazy. You've said that it stopped basically traffic.
It stopped the nation line, and it literally did.
Yeah, it was almost reminiscent of the America's Cup victory where everybody stopped. And I know we were all pushing for a public holiday at one stage, which was just crazy when you think about it. An Australian sporting team giving a public holiday doesn't make sense, but at the end of the day, that's how big it was.
Yeah, it was. It was huge. And look, full kudos. Obviously, it wasn't the fairy tale finish, but geez, it was as bloody close as you could go in a lot of ways.
And Sam Kerr's goal there was one of the best, almost from the three-quarter mark and taking on two defenders and a goalkeeper, and just found that perfect spot. And really, she was only going at 80% capacity as well.
If that.
All right, mate, that is our top 10 Australian sporting moments. We thank you once again, Malcom.
It's interesting how we mucked around a bit with it, how we were both pretty similar. We really had very little differences. So
we did.
Interesting in that regard.
Absolutely. All right, mate, thank you very much for being involved with our top 10 sporting moments. Coming up in our next episode will be our top 5 South Australian moments.
In this crazy world we live in, we all need the distraction. Enjoying the show? Like, rate, and subscribe. Hook up and connect with us on social media at SportsCast SA. We'll see you next time on Game On.